Hey, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to the PHNX Rising podcast presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. My name is Ramon Chavez. I'm super happy to be back. Not only back in the studio. Love it over here.
Yeah, where were you on Tuesday?
I was chilling, dog. I was at the Dodgers game, chilling, drinking some beers. Yeah.
Why'd you go to a Dodgers game for?
Because I had to. I was such a tourist in LA, because last game we were over there. But yeah, I did all the touristy things. Like, I would tell people straight up, I'm like, I'm not from here, man. Like, just show me where to go. So anyway, it was fun, but it's more fun being here with you guys.
I'm judging you.
And then of course Owen is here in the house with us.
I'm here in case you didn't
Hollywood
notice that already.
Owen with the haircut, looking all fresh. I see you.
Jesus.
And of course we got the dead man, Edwin, in the house. How are you, sir?
Good. A productive day. A lot to happen. Don't worry. They don't need to know that I was rushing in here and making sure the show went well. But I'm happy to have you back over there, Mr. Hollywood Dodger fan himself now.
Oh my God. No, I will say that I purposely didn't wear any or buy any Dodgers stuff because I'm not a big fan of the Dodgers, but my girlfriend didn't bring a sweater and it gets really cold up there. And so she ended up buying a Dodger sweater. So I'm really upset with her. But yeah, anyway. So, but yeah, it was a good game. Beautiful stadium over there. But anyway, we're here to talk about Rising. Obviously not a great result last Saturday, but it's a big game week, with San Antonio coming into town, and it's going to be a fun time. So we're going to talk about that. Owen, we're also going to talk about the USL action happening this week and a lot of great events. Oh, Michael, thank you. It's really nice. Thank you, Michael. Yeah, some big games. Monterey Bay actually playing their first ever home game. So that's going to be really fun.
Yeah, maybe it'll go better than their last game, which I'm sure we will be touching on today.
We'll talk about that one for sure. And of course, we got to talk some Champions League action, not only in the European side, but also over here across the pond in North America. Some big results happening yesterday. So, but before we do that, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you're watching us. Always appreciate you commenting if you're watching us right now. Michael, thank you so much for tuning in, and everybody else that's on the show right now. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. It really helps us out here, and it helps us reach more Rising fans just like you. So appreciate that. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. San Antonio is coming into town. They're going to play Rising at Wild Horse Pass. San Antonio looking pretty good, to say the least.
They are.
So yeah, big game coming up. Obviously, Rising did not have the best of games over there in Carson. Got beat by LA Galaxy 2 by the score of 3-0. But there's going to be some lineup changes. That's pretty much confirmed, obviously, with Darnell King getting that red, being suspended for one game, I mean. And you got a chance to speak to Marcus Epps, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, he got some thoughts on who might be the new captain on Saturday's game.
Aiden's vocal, very hands-on. Darnell is a lead by example, captain as well. And Aiden, he does that with his quality. Obviously, we all see his quality as a player. But he's vocal as well, so it's going to be good. It's going to be a lot of high energy, I feel like, for this game. And we're confident, whether it be Aiden or anyone leading us, it's a lot of good guys in the group. So looking forward to that.
So some big news there. Aiden Quinn will be taking the mantle of captain. How you feeling about that, Owen?
Well, he's the obvious choice, surely, because when you think about it, he took the armband on Sunday. And he was someone that a lot of people were pushing forward as a possible option when they were deciding who the captain was going to be in the first place. But yeah, I'm intrigued to see how it works because he is a different person to. I mean, it's obvious. It feels obvious when you say it. He's a different person to die like it, right? But he is. He's going to have a different kind of style out there, and I'm intrigued to see quite how that works from the off.
Okay.
I'm not saying this as though I'm doubting him, because I'm not. And ultimately, I think that he has got the respect of a lot of people in that locker room. But I'm just intrigued because it will be different. It's a different kind of test. Obviously, filling in for the captaincy is one side of it. Filling in at right back, we're going to have an entirely different discussion on that in a sec. But it's, missing Darnell, and we know it's only the 1 game suspension now. USL did clarify that. It's yesterday. Definitely, it's only 1 game, despite the fact it was a red for violent conduct. So, yeah, it's a test for Rising to see how they perform without their captain, but I guess that's when we're going to find out how they react to that test.
Is anything really going to change with Quinn having the armband? And by that, I mean the fact that Marcus Epps alluded to it. The way they lead the team is different as far as Darnell King and Nathan Quinn. Quinn is one of the most vocal players I've ever seen. He's always talking. Whenever there's a dead ball, he's always communicating with either the back line or one of the midfielders. So is anything really going to change with him on the field, or is it just more of like hey, well, Darnell's not here, so might as well just give it to Quinn?
We don't really know. And that's almost the problem we've got here again, is that we're kind of looking in from the outside on this specific issue. There are a lot of things that we can talk to, but on this one, it's tougher because we hear a lot of things on the field, but we don't hear everything on the field. Yeah. We definitely don't hear anything inside the locker room. We don't know that kind of side of things, right? Well, maybe we heard a lot in Galaxy Stadium, and I think we all know why.
Yeah.
And a lot of it wasn't good, let's be honest. We definitely heard a lot of Joe Farrell in that game. But I don't know. I think there's still a lot to be seen on that. I don't know how he's going to look as starting as a captain in that game, and I don't know how his teammates are going to react to it. Again, it's interesting because it is different, and worth noting that Solomon Asante was never the most vocal of captains, really, was he?
Yeah.
And Darnell King isn't necessarily either. So it's a different kind of captain, I think. And again, it's just interesting to see how they react to that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to see how that happens. I think maybe some players respond better to someone being more vocal instead of just saying, hey, just keep playing, good job, whatever, and really getting after them. So, yeah, it'll be interesting on Saturday for sure. Now, you mentioned the right back situation. Darnell King's not going to be playing. Is Channing Chaston still on the mend?
He's still injured. Yeah,
okay,
he's not going to be available this weekend, or he's not expected to be available this weekend.
So what are we feeling on the right back situation?
I mean, the most obvious one is Joey Calistri. It's obvious because you'd say, well, Santi's getting closer now to the point where he can start a game. So, you're freeing up a spot up there. You'd have Santi and, well, we don't actually know quite what that front three is going to look like. That's a separate conversation. But you'd say that you can drop Joey back and try it out that way. But at the same time, when bringing that up earlier this week, Rick was really close to his chest with that. He didn't really want to say a lot on it. He also, though, brought up about, well, we got a lot of players who can play in different positions. We got some really good academy kids.
Oh.
I don't know. Look, I think the most obvious answer here is Joey Calistri, but that doesn't mean that he is going to be the answer.
Yeah, no, I think that's going to be interesting for sure. Yeah, I don't know about an academy kid. They're going to bring someone up like that? Or I think he's just playing mind games.
He's playing games there. Yeah, that one's not going to happen. That one's not going to happen. But could it be someone else? That's the question.
Is there a suggestion of possibly moving Flood to the right back and Bowen to the left back? Is that a possibility that could cross the mind?
It's not the first time I've heard that one put forward. I'm not sure. Is the simple answer.
Yeah. I think the risk with that is that if you play both of them, then if one of them either gets injured or yellow card, red card, then you're putting yourself at risk. Not having anyone else, you just put Manu Madrid over there in the right back spot or something and see what
Oh,
happens.
I would love to see Manuel Madrid bombing up and down the wing.
You gotta do
I'm
it.
sure that would work fantastically.
Yeah.
Look, Manu has his areas which are positive, and that is that he is a physical player, that he generally reads the game all right, that he's decent with the ball at his feet. And none of those things are pacey.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's what I mean. I don't
Like-
think that's the answer then. So maybe not. I don't know. We'll see.
But will we? I mean, if you want to talk about the defense, we can talk more broadly about the central defense. What exactly is going to happen there? Because James Musa is likely to be back.
Ooh.
Okay,
Ooh.
he is likely. That was the update on Tuesday that he is likely to be back.
Interesante.
How do we fit these things together and create a system then that has, you've got Joe Farrell, you got Kevin Lambert has been playing at the back, but do you want to move him? You've got James Musa coming in. You've got Manu Madrid as well.
And Haugley's ready to go.
And Haugley's ready to go as well. That was the one I almost forgot that there. Sievert's ready to go. Sievert got his clearance on Monday. I don't know. I really don't know.
'Cause I was thinking about it. I was like, I wouldn't mind. I don't know. Do you think Joe Farrell needs a break?
What's the easy game this week?
I
know you're going to say, right, San Antonio is a tough game. Do you really want to start Sievert's professional career with a game against San Antonio? But Sakano Mugs, Tampa Bay are a far better team than their results are showing lately.
Yeah.
It is a tough week. And he's going to have to feature at some point. With that many games stacking up, he has to feature. So where do you first try and edge him in?
I think it would be this game.
I wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, if you see him, I think Farrell needs a break, especially after that game at Galaxy. You saw the frustration. You saw him basically get crossed over by Johnny Perez over there and Carson. So I think he needs a break. Keep him on the bench, have maybe Musa, Haugley up there and just see what happens, man. Like, it's now or never. There's never going to be a good time, like you're saying. So let's just figure it out over there. Moving on to the midfield, what are we looking at over here? So let's say Musa, Haugley. Is Lambert up top? Say he has to the bench? Is that what we're feeling? Quinn Arturo in the middle?
I don't know. I really don't like. There are so many things swirling around in this one.
Yeah.
That I don't really know anymore what to point to and say that's the number one lineup. That's the one that I want to go.
Well, we didn't
with.
think Rick Schantz was going to come out with that lineup on Saturday.
Oh no, we were surprised by it and it didn't work.
Yeah,
so
it did not
I
work.
prefer to not see that again.
Yeah. Because Jet saying he wants to see the 3-5-2 again. That'd be interesting.
Could be interesting.
Especially
now
with
that
Joe,
would
yeah.
set up for a very weird game, I think, in this next one. Because the thing with the 3-5-2 where it kind of works is it works with. I mean, it can work with this because they're quite a pacey team. Again, it depends, I guess, how you employ that 3-5-2 because it's not the most negative. It's not a really negative formation, even if it sounds it, because of the way that it releases those wingers. And San Antonio are a team that don't possess the ball. So you want to be kind of throwing things at them, but they're going to catch you on a counter. So I don't know. Maybe that 3-5-2 is the answer. Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah, Musa, Haugley, maybe Lambert right in front of them, but still kind of part of that three. You still keep Quinn, Seijas, Rodriguez. Then you have Joey, and maybe Flood on the other side. I'd like to see Babu actually instead of Flood, and then maybe just Santi and Hurst, Repetto Hurst. I don't know, man.
I don't know. There's a lot going on there.
Yeah, for sure. So speaking of Repetto, is it time to kind of give someone else a chance? What are we feeling over here?
It's a tough one.
Look at that. He's laughing back there.
It's a tough one because what you get into with strikers is that they do end up in these kind of streaky moments, right? So a guy like Greg Hurst, for example, to me, you have to leave him in that team because with last weekend accepted, he's on form. And when a striker's on form, they're going to keep finding goals typically. That confidence is high. They're taking shots on. I mean, we've seen it in the past with even like Santi when he'd go on his streaks of goal scoring last season. We saw times where he'd take shots on that he probably wouldn't have taken on at other times, or maybe he would have, but not quite with the same confidence going into it. And he just finds goals like that. And that's the kind of thing that you end up with a guy like Hurst and the kind of form that he's in. And so to me, you have to leave him in that squad. For Repetto, though, then it becomes a question of, can you have both of them in there at the same time? Because if you can work a formation where both of them are in there at the same time, it's not like a bad thing to not, to have him out there. The problem comes whereby if you're looking at an either-or situation, to me, that has to be Greg Hurst.
No, I think so as well. Even in that loss, I think Hurst was the best player on the field. He set up Repetto for a great chance in the first half. Fortunately, Repetto, hit a little bit wide, so you have to keep Hurst in the lineup. I felt like that lineup that was thrown out there on Saturday was to help Repetto, maybe give him a little bit more service, maybe have him and Repetto and Hurst connect a little bit through the midfield. So I don't know. Well, to me, maybe it's time to kind of give it a change a little bit. Maybe have him come off the bench and do something like that, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Let's have a look at the chat a minute, because they're talking about Marcus Epps at the moment. So let's talk a bit about Marcus Epps, okay? Is it coming up against a former team? Yes. So Michael's correct on that, in that he's against a former team. Rick does historically like to play players against their former team.
Did score last
There's
time.
often that kind of, he scored late.
Yeah.
And off the bench, didn't he?
His first shot ever, yeah.
It was off the bench. His first shot of the season, which he scored.
Yeah.
I think the form still isn't there for Marcus at the moment.
He's
and
getting better, but not like incrementally better, like from one game to the other. But I see flashes of it where you could see him kind of feeling the game a little bit more and taking control. But
then there are those flashes where he regresses as well, even within a game, whereby you can watch it and think, okay, maybe he's doing a bit better. Maybe he's slightly stepped, he's gotten over what we've been talking about all the time. And then the next time what happens, he runs up, gets to a point where he probably should keep pressing on, and he cuts back. Yeah. And it's like, we're back to where we were. Kind of yeah. And look, I think that we take some positives maybe we were talking about this in Carson, about the fact that we thought, well, he didn't look as noticeably problematic necessarily in that last game, and then we quickly threw that away as being, well, I suppose if we're doing it by comparison, no one looked good. So I mean, it's
to be fair,
yeah. But I just wonder with that, whereby the idea that Rick wants to play players against their previous team isn't absolute. Yeah. It's something that has in the past not happened, even when you'd think it was likely to happen. It's hard. And I mean, Bobby in the chat, they're saying it seems like it's a confidence issue, and I don't think you're necessarily wrong. The problem is what do you do? Because if you leave him out there and he's not improving, people are going to get more and more on his back, and then his confidence is going to get worse. But equally, if you take him out, is his confidence going to take a dip as well, as though perhaps there isn't the belief in him, or just that he's, it's the evidence that you aren't performing, and it's tough. I'm not sure what is the right direction to go with that, but something has to change. And either has to change in Epps, or it has to change in the lineup going forward. It's a tough one.
I think the change can be Santi Moore. I think he's been playing a lot better ever since his injury. He came back a little bit more hungry, I feel. And I don't know whether he's trying harder or he's just connecting more. But the game against Miami, obviously the game against New Mexico, where he set up Hurst, and in this last game, he came he's playing mad, like he's trying to prove something either to himself or to other people. Where he's like, just, I don't know, like the Santi from the preseason and the first few games is not there anymore. This guy's hungry. He's looking to make a statement. He's looking to score his first goal and make a difference, and I like that. So give him a chance. I think he's ready to start.
Is that more of a comment of him off the bench, though? It's easy to say, for example, if you come in knowing you got 20 minutes, it's easy to look hungry for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Comparative to starting a game when you're told, you might have to go all 90.
Yeah.
That's the difference, or that can be the difference, right? Yeah. The fact that you know that you can just absolutely exhaust yourself in 20 minutes, and then it doesn't matter.
That's true. That's true for sure. Let's segue a little bit here, because Jet brought up a really good topic.
I know you're a big fan of Rising Facebook.
Yeah, it can be a good and bad place. But yeah, Jet says, just tell Epps to stay away from Rising Facebook. And I do want to talk about that a little bit, because I know I watched a little bit of the show on Tuesday, and you brought up the clip where social media, and Rick was paying attention to it, and I think that game showed how maybe a little bit toxic, and I'm just gonna sugarcoat it here.
Rising Facebook is toxic.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's what I mean. Like, I think we just need a quick second to chill out. I think, honestly, and I'm gonna say this straight up, I feel like Rising fans are a little bit spoiled with results because they flock. And I know you're laughing at me, but I'm just saying, like, as someone that's new to the Facebook group, right? Because you've seen it for a while.
But here's the other thing, I think, and it's interesting. I find it interesting because the way that I look at sport is quite different, I feel, to the way that a lot of you guys do. In that, for a lot of you guys, your whole thing is you can be mediocre all season. You get to the end of the year. Congratulations, you finished mid-table. Now it's time for the playoffs.
Yeah.
And now, obviously, that isn't what I grew up with. I also didn't grow up with the fact that if you were mediocre, utterly atrocious, you just go, oh, well, we'll just lose games because we'll get a higher pick in the draft. You finish bottom, you're gone. Bye.
It's different.
You get relegated, right? Yeah. And so I understand at times there is a sense of urgency. The problem is that at times the frustration doesn't get targeted in the right places. And it also can hop on there too quickly. One bad result. Let's keep that into context. The Galaxy result was a bad result off of a performance that we weren't really happy with. So the fact that people are feeling bad is fine. It's to be expected. It's the correct reaction when you ultimately feel let down by the team on that day. But the knee-jerk stuff about stripping the captaincy and some of the individual comments really about individual players.
Yeah.
I mean, the captaincy one's the main one. I know we talked about this on Tuesday. Okay. It's just nonsense. It's nonsense. I don't know why you talk about it.
It's just people started going after King and like, well, there was a comment in particular. I don't know if it was a post or the comment, but it said King was never the right choice. I never wanted him to be even from the season I said it. Where was his energy?
Thanks to the keyboard warriors for that.
Exactly.
We all know exactly what they know about the captaincy, which is unfortunately for them.
There was someone blaming Lunt for the goals, and I said, you know what? There's 10 other
players. That one's the funniest one.
I was just like, I was looking at the guy.
Know where to begin with that one.
My guy, did you watch the game? First of all, Galaxy has to get past 10 men before they get to Lunt. So I don't think it's completely Lunt's fault. But he was like, yeah, Lunt shouldn't be playing. I'm just like, you need to relax. And that's what upset me about this loss, that relax. It's okay. It's one result. It's a long season, and ultimately the goal is the playoffs and the championship. This result in the long term of things is not going to impact that.
And there's the point, right? There's a balance. There is a balance between the knee-jerk kind of stuff that we saw on the weekend and then the kind of stuff, to take another team as an example here. Tampa Bay are in a very poor position off their last few games. 1 win in 7 games is not Tampa Bay Rowdies' form. Now, I understand criticism there. I understand a feeling of pressure there.
Yeah.
And I understand a sense of urgency that something has to change. Now, of course, Neil Collins has done a lot of wonders there, so I understand that he's, getting them to a couple of finals. It buys you time.
Yeah.
But I understand with them that there would be more negativity, more frustration.
It's a big enough sample
becomes
size.
About lashing out almost at that point. More so than just losing a game badly, admittedly. But it's just putting it into perspective. And the perspective is it's not worth stripping a captaincy. It's not worth ripping into individual players too much.
Yeah.
It was a bad team performance. If you're gonna get too knee-jerk with anyone, really, the answer, to be honest, is probably with Rick. But for that, because it was a team performance. It was a bad team performance as a whole. I'm not sure that pointing fingers at individuals for that game is the best.
Yeah. No, there was too much as a team that needed to be fixed that game to point fingers individually, or that it was one player's fault, especially Darnell. Obviously, what he did, I don't agree with. It was a bad thing to do. It was unsportsmanlike. But ultimately, that didn't dictate the result, in my opinion. And then to Jet's comment here, it's like a lot of people who probably haven't played team sports. You can have an opinion even if you haven't played team sports before. But what bothers me,
we have a lot of opinions. They're not necessarily good. But,
but it's just like you're saying, compare Rising situation to Tampa's, it's that's when I would probably be a little bit more alarmed if Rising was in that situation that Tampa is.
I understand early season where it was we'd seen those 3 games and it was like 2.5 bad halves of football out of 3. Well, 2.5 bad games of football out of 3, yeah. And it was I understood that at the time. This one, it was a bad performance. We all kind of ripped on it at the time.
Yeah.
We still ripped on it a little bit afterwards, but the key thing is that there's now an opportunity on Saturday to put that behind them. And if they can get the result on Saturday, to me, that really does draw the line under that. That isn't like one result coming off of a bad run of form. It's one result to correct the fact that you had a poor result in the last game, and you fixed it. You've worked out perhaps what was wrong there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Edwin, we haven't looped you in on this, but Edwin, can you give us your thoughts on Rising Facebook here?
Man, it's knee-jerk. Sometimes it's crazy, and as Ramon said, sometimes they need to chill, but sometimes it's just frustrations that they have on the club that they let out at the wrong person, as we're talking about, right? And it's easy, right, to sit behind a screen and, you can easily say anything, in social media these days. So I think for them, right, it's easy to be frustrated at the club and point your finger at somewhere, right? It's embarrassing, though, to attack, the captain after one bad performance, right? It's not like we're talking about he's been a bad captain all year long. The players are coming for him and all that. No.
Yeah.
It's just the fact that he had one bad game. He's going to learn from it. And as I told Owen on Tuesday, right? He's still learning to be a captain. He's still learning to mean what it means to be a captain, because he used to have Solo here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Solo was the guy, and obviously you can learn a lot from Solo. But when you have the badge on yourself, it's responsibility that you're not used to, and we see all around the club, all around the world, that sometimes it gets to people. But for me, I think King has stepped up in that moment. So
yeah.
So when it comes to that, it's utter crap. When it comes to the Facebook, it's the essence of the sport, right? Anywhere you go, on Twitter, you hop on Twitter, look up Man City right now. You can see the utter crap that they're saying about Pep Guardiola and the boys, right? Yet they're still probably going to win the league, right? They're going to still do this and this, right? So even at the top levels, even the top European clubs, you're going to see shit posters. You just have to deal with it in this industry, in this sport.
I do wonder, though, and I know, look, there's been knee-jerk reactions. It's been a fixture of Rising social media for years, right? We've just kind of gotten used to it by now. But I do wonder if an element of this is also the fact that, especially in that Facebook group, there's a lot of discontent over a lot of off-the-field things as well that are happening with the club. And I wonder if some of that is spilling over and means that when they have a bad result, they're already in a very negative place, and hence some of that is getting taken out on the players. And it's frustration with stuff that's none of the players doing. Let's be honest.
Yeah, so Manu Madrid stuff over the beer lines long.
Yeah, Manu. Why is Manu?
Man, get on
come
it.
on, Manu.
It's your deal.
Manu Madrid has got to personally. If he doesn't come and personally serve me a beer on Saturday, I'm gonna be. I need as Michael put it. As Michael put it, there. Ticket rep, call me now. It's just...
No, I appreciate it. Yeah, no, appreciate the comments. Thank you, Bobby, Jet. Thank you for your comment. Yeah, they didn't mean to say you couldn't have an opinion, more so if you played before, you're more understanding. So it's always a good conversation here. But at the end of the day, the players are human. If we were analyzed and looked at as much as they are, those lines are slower than Manu. That's me. But
that's harsh. That's harsh.
Yeah. But yeah, at the end of the day, we're all human. Let's be understanding.
Harsh, but just to be clear, actually, I just want to make sure that when it's clarified here. Harsh on Manu. It's
look at CEO.
It's not,
look what we started over here.
It's not harsh on the lines. It's harsh on Manu.
Gonna see Anguiano over there in the carne asada fries. Oh my god. I think there's a sense of lack of progress. Epps not replacing Solo well. Repetto struggling. King and Moore not to form. All wins last month, but many were last minute. Yeah, I can see that.
It's not wrong, but there's still an element of. Some of those results I thought were perfectly fine.
Yeah.
The LA Galaxy 2 win, the win against them here was perfectly fine in my book. And Miami FC, it took a wonder strike, but it wasn't the worst result in the world.
Yeah. Played a lot better in the second half during that game.
In the second half, yeah.
Yeah. So, big game coming up on Saturday. If you haven't yet, make sure to purchase your ticket. We're going to be there, obviously, doing a live post game over there.
I hear it might be someone's last game as well.
Oh, what?
So, Please direct all beer money to the press box.
Tell Manu to hook up Edwin.
Yeah. We're fully expecting Manuel Madrid to come up to the press box on top and just hand over I don't know, what do you want a bottle of?
Estrella Jalisco.
Oh no, I was thinking he was going to ask for something harder.
A little harsher,
I mean,
okay.
No, you gotta
straight tequila.
There we go. Yeah, so Edwin will be on top of the press box doing straight tequila.
It is Cinco de Mayo, so we gotta do something like that.
Cinco de Drinko today.
Oh my God, it's terrible. All right, y'all, let's take a quick break. Let's talk about OGs. So if you guys haven't yet, our friends at OGs have some amazing scratch-made THC gummies. If you haven't yet, make sure to stop by your local dispensary and grab some amazing scratch-made THC gummies from our friends at OGs. They just announced their new mini OGs, which is a 3 milligram microdose option for those not wanting to dive right into their regular 10 milligram option. You can try their tropical flavor in either sativa or indica strains. These are available now exclusively at Zen Leaf locations through May 11th. If you're interested in trying the amazingly delicious variety of flavors that OG Brands has to offer, go to ogsbrands.com. That's OGEEZbrands.com to find an OGs near you. No one, you'll be happy to know I tried some OGs over there in LA.
Did you?
They're pretty fun. Good time.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know Michaela always talks about, taking it before she goes to bed, but, I tried it as well. Got some really good sleep, so recommend it for sure. So, yeah, if you guys haven't, some OGs brands. That sounds sarcastic, Edwin. Come on, man.
No, it's not sarcastic.
I'm sure that wasn't the only thing, though, in LA that was giving you some good sleep.
Well, what was that? Whoa, what does that mean? Oh, man.
Oh, tough.
Oh, what was giving me good sleep? Owen's haircut, man. Look at that stuff. Like, he just keeps going like this just so people can notice it. I'm telling you. Hollywood Owen, man. It's different. All right. Owen doesn't know what to say.
I don't know where this is even going now. Right. Back on track. Let's talk about San Antonio. I was talking about this match.
All right, let's talk about San Antonio.
I was talking about the match on Sunday.
Let's talk some San Antonio. They're really good. They haven't the only loss they've had is against Rising. So other than that, 7-0. So pretty good. Ever since they lost to Rising, they defeated your favorite team, the Defeaters.
Defeaters Kicks.
There you go. They beat them 3-1 in the U.S. Open Cup. Beat Orange County 1-0. El Paso, Austin FC, one of the best teams in MLS. They defeated them as well in U.S. Open Cup play. New Mexico and our very good friends at Monterey Bay did not do as well as we hoped.
No, not in the slightest.
6-0, which Rising could have lost as well if we were being fair to Galaxy on Saturday. So on Sunday, I mean. So 14-2 goal difference ever since they lost to Rising. 5 clean sheets during the season. Jordan Farr put goalkeeper of the year. You thinking maybe? And then now they're gonna play after Rising. They're gonna play Houston Dynamo in the U.S. Open Cup. So pretty good team.
Yeah. So on that topic, we've been talking about how they did after. We did also get a bit from Marcus on kind of how they've changed since Rising last faced them.
Yeah, I know there's been slight formation change. They've had a couple good results since then. They'll be flying high. They're high energy. We know what we're going to get from them. As a group, from us, it kind of helps because we know what to expect from them. We know what to tidy up with us and look for in them. So it's just, we're excited, and it should be a good one.
I like Marcus's enthusiasm there. I think he's looking forward to it.
Yeah. I mean, it's another good team to play against. In terms of an actual good team, and there's going to be no shortage of them over the next week. Gets you up for a game slightly more than it is to say play against a Valley United or even an LA Galaxy 2. It's easy to get up for a game when you're playing someone that's big that you think coming off of that win, you'll have proven something about yourselves. And I think that if Rising can get the win on Saturday, given how San Antonio has been playing, that will prove something about this team. Because at that point, they'll be the only team to have beaten them. And not only will they have beaten them, they'll have done the double over them. So this is a really big chance for Rising to really kind of set that mark down after having some struggles in various parts of the season and say, no, this is still Phoenix Rising. No. We still get these results. We're still going to be there up at the very top come the end of the year. Because when we play teams like San Antonio, we get results. Yeah. That's what this means. And I think that as a team, they're really going to be up for this one.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a big measuring stick, especially at home, trying to rebound from that loss. Uh, if they win, I think this will give me a lot more confidence heading towards kind of like the middle, of the season, because you can see that they get up for the big games. Maybe against the Galaxy 2, maybe a little bit of lower, in the standings teams. They kind of play up to that opposition kind of level, and so I don't know. We'll see how they respond. Now, if they tie or they lose a close one, I'll probably kind of feel the same way. But if they have another performance like they had on Sunday, it's gonna be really tough for me to advocate for them, especially heading into a week playing Sacramento, Tampa Bay, and then Louisville a little bit later on. So
yeah. Now there are of course changes to how they looked the last time that we saw San Antonio. To be clear, so they have made some little bit of a tweak in the midfield. That's one of the things we've seen more than anything. When you talk about the slight formational change, it is mostly that kind of way that midfield is working. Part of that is because of players coming back. Now, San Antonio have had some real injury struggles this year. From what I gather, they're going hard in training every week. They're going really hard in training every week, and sometimes that catches up with you. Yeah. So what's happened is you've had guys like David Luera still he didn't feature last weekend. Not sure if he'll be available this weekend or not. I unfortunately don't have any insight on that. However, we've seen guys like PC come back. We've seen guys like Justin Dillon come back. Those are two pretty big parts to their squad. PC is a major attacking player. He can change the game in a big way in that final third. And Justin Dillon is also a good striker up top.
Can I ask a dumb question?
Yeah.
Is that his actual name?
PC?
Yeah.
No, it isn't.
Because I'm here looking him up, and that's all I get. PC.
Are you looking? So it's. I just typed it into my laptop just for everyone who obviously can't see my laptop screen to go like, what is PC's full name? So I just typed PC, and I've now got a load of computers staring
Phoenix
back
College
at me.
there.
But no, he's not. He's Brazilian,
okay.
And that's the name he goes by. He goes by PC. And again, I typed PC San Antonio, and I'm just getting more confused.
We'll get you an answer.
Get there eventually. Hang on. I got it. It's Victor Giro.
Gotcha. But he just prefers the PC.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He's commonly known as PC.
Gotcha.
And
okay.
That's what he goes by.
And that's what
he acquired his nickname due to his resemblance to a fellow youth player. And those are the initials of the fellow youth player.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's one way to get a name.
It's a
awesome.
weird
Okay.
one.
Well, back to your analysis. Sorry about that. I was really curious about it.
But yeah, I mean, PC's been doing this for a while in this league. We know what he's capable of, and Justin Dillon's not one to sniff at either. There are some other good players in there as well. I mean, one of the things to note about that win, and we should talk, I think, about that win over Monterey Bay. It's the most recent time we've seen him playing. So, 39% possession, you score 6 goals.
Yeah.
Yes, there's formational change here, but this San Antonio team is fundamentally the same team, okay? It is a team that will be defense first, will catch you, and do it very, very well. They're more of a structured team than a team that are just going to come at you with everything and throw the kitchen sink at you.
They're happy to wait back. And just catch on the counter.
Which is, of course, the way that historically has been the way to beat Phoenix Rising. So whenever you play a team that's able to do that and do it competently, it's always a concern because, again, Rising commits a lot of numbers. Now, will we see something different, perhaps that kind of 3-5-2? Because as we've said in the past, Rick seems to be, he's maturing as a coach. He said that himself effectively, and that's seeing that you can still maintain the same philosophy while doing things slightly different, that you don't have to, it's not a binary choice between doing things identically and throwing everything out, that there is that kind of middle ground where you can just make tweaks. Do we see a change to counter that? It's possible, highly possible. But, that's the kind of team that. They 6 goals. I believe it was 6 different goal scorers. In fact, it was indeed Elliot Collier, PC, Dominic Hernandez, Mitchell Tainter, Justin Dillon, and Jordan Ayambila. So, 6 different goal scorers on there. That tells you something.
Yeah.
That really does tell you something. Now, some other things from that one. Mo Abu, just to be clear, very good crosser of the ball in that game, especially. He attempted 5 crosses. All 5 were successful. And Shannon Gomez was a big chance creator off the bench for them and got 1 assist in the process of that. So, yeah, I'm interested to see this. I'm intrigued to see how it changes. Of course, they only named, just as a sign of the injury problems they've had, they only named 6 players to the bench in that game. And that was a home game. So that's a weird one. Now, Monterey Bay had even less players to name to the bench, but we'll gloss over that.
So they were ready to run basically the entire game.
I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued to see how that goes.
Yeah. No, the one I'm looking at here is that Elliot Collier, their leading scorer, four goals, had 4 attempts at goal against Monterey. So, he's their big striker this season, obviously with David Loera on the mend and not on the team. So,
and the thing that we kind of have spoken about in the past is that we didn't see this as a team that would run up the score against people. They're a kind of team that edge out 1 goal wins. They win 1-0, they win 2-1. They completely flipped that on its head. And they had 27 shots in that game.
Yeah.
So from what I gather, they just didn't seem that clinical. And they still scored 6 goals.
Mm-hmm.
So, look, it's Monterey Bay. You got to take it with a pinch of salt because Monterey Bay, of course, have struggled coming into this season. They've only got 1 win. But it was a really, really dominant, really quite direct, yes, but just, as a team like that, if they're capable of doing that, can execute it well, then, hey, it's clearly working for them.
Yeah, no, they grind out their wins for sure. I mean, if we're really going to look at a game, New Mexico the week before, again, 1-0. If we're not talking about the U.S. Open Cup, beat El Paso 1-0, Orange County 1-0. So they're only going to score, maybe 1 or 2 goals if they're facing good opposition. So, we'll take the Monterey Bay with the grain of salt. Obviously, they missed a lot of their shots on when they were attempted at target. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I think Rising has what it takes. They've proven it already at the beginning of the season. So, but it is a different San Antonio team, with those injuries, injured players coming back and reinforcing their team. So we'll see. We'll see if they fill out a full 18, right?
Yeah, we'll see. That one's a tough one. I mean, even back when Rising were playing them, they did name, I believe, a full bench for that game. But the game before, they had 2 goalkeepers on the bench. That was the kind of a situation they were in. Now, of course, they can't name 2 goalkeepers at the bench now because they've only got 2 goalkeepers. One of them left, didn't he? Right before retired.
Yeah.
Right before
the
Rising
Colombian
played
keeper,
them.
right?
Yeah. So that's a big change, but. I don't know. I think they are struggling with the depth. That's definitely something that Rising can hopefully exploit. Because Rising, to its credit, has depth. Okay? There are guys on the bench, well, not on the bench, who could be on the bench.
Yeah. Could be able to get some minutes at least. So, yeah.
We'll see.
We'll see. We'll see what happens on Sunday for sure. But definitely a must-win for Rising. A lot of good games on the schedule for this week. A bit of a weird week, right? Because a lot of teams in the USL are playing midweek. For example, we had 4 games actually yesterday. Louisville 4-0 over Atlanta. Miami and Legion tied up. El Paso coming up 3-1 over Tulsa. And then Sacramento and New Mexico United tied at 0. So
there was, of course, a red card in there as well.
The El Paso,
Yeah.
Saw that one.
There's actually a game ongoing right now.
Is it the Colorado?
Yeah, I didn't
RGV?
realize that. Right. Come on. Live betting. Let's have a look.
Looking at DraftKings.
How are we doing?
DraftKings odds.
You wanna do the read while I get the the old thing up?
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, if you guys haven't, make sure to download DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Of course, with the NBA playoffs and USL in full effect, you can have nonstop betting with the DraftKings Sportsbook app. This week, new customers can bet just $5 on any team to win and get $150 in free bets if they do. Right now, all customers can place a same-game parlay with 3 or more legs and get a free bet back up to $25 if one leg doesn't hit. So that's a really good promotion there. So if you guys haven't yet, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code PHNX. Bet $5 on any NBA team to win their game and get $150 in free bets if they do. That's promo code PHNX only at DraftKings Sportsbook. You do have to be 21 and over to gamble. Arizona only. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. New customers only, minimum $5 deposit. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details.
So, at the moment, the score is 0-0. Colorado Springs Switchbacks 0, RGV 0. So at the moment, just looking at the money line, it is -105 on Colorado Springs, +180 for a draw, or +425 for RGV.
Ah, man. Is Colorado at home?
It's way at Colorado Springs.
Yeah. I mean, I would take Colorado at home for sure.
Are you?
So, yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah. I mean, they don't usually tie their games. They either win them or have the one loss. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, Charleston Battery against Memphis. Memphis been playing okay. Not too bad.
They've not been too bad. They play on that pitch, which I don't really know how to describe. It's not the best, is it? Their home field there, but look, they've been doing all right. And Charleston, you'd have thought Charleston have had some struggles. They're kind of a weird team. They lost, of course, to Birmingham Legion. They got a draw against Luke City, which is great results. But some of the other games they've had have been pretty atrocious. They got, well and truly handled by San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
Vegas Lights went there and got a result. Atlanta 2, scoring 4 goals in that match against Charleston Battery. I know there was a red card, but I don't know. To me, in that game, that's one for Memphis to take. And I think that if they want to be a competitor, which the way they've started the season, they have the chance to be, bearing in mind that they've got a game in hand, right? So Friday night, if they win, Memphis win, Friday night, they could be as high as 3rd or 4th in the league table. Probably 4th. But because of that game in hand is where they'd be sitting. And even then, they'd be 1 point behind second. So it's a chance for them in this early season to really kind of cement their position up there higher in the league, which is, of course, we didn't expect them to do particularly well last year. And they kind of shocked a little bit. But I don't know. We'll see with that one.
See what happens tomorrow.
It's never easy to travel away. That's the thing.
Yeah.
And in this league particularly, that can be the case. It's not necessarily for the intimidating atmospheres, because you don't necessarily see that a lot in this league at a lot of these clubs. But even just the travel takes it out on you a lot. And a lot of players, if you chat to them, they're not from the US. They tell you straight up that is the thing that's often hardest, is that they don't really appreciate, especially ones from Europe, for example, right? They don't appreciate that a standard league game, you're hopping on a plane and traveling 2 hours, because back home that would be like, oh, we're in like a European game. If we're like, you're going to another country if you're traveling that far.
Yeah.
But anyway, just to add in the odds on that for Memphis, if you want to go with Memphis, +145.
Oh, not bad.
That's not bad.
Get that Colorado Memphis parlay. See if it hits. Should be pretty good. Saturday, Hartford hosting Loudoun. Loudoun have come back to earth,
Come back to earth, come back to reality almost for them.
We'll see if they can continue at least in the middle of the pack, right?
Pittsburgh against Birmingham Legion, that's a big game for me. Because Birmingham Legion is starting to get a couple of results. And Pittsburgh, of course, as well, another team that are up there typically. I don't know. I really don't know.
El Paso, LA, that should be fun. Monterey Bay, they were going to be hosting their first ever game. Las Vegas, not an easy
Monterey
task.
Bay, that's not an easy one necessarily for their first home game, but to get a home game now they've been traveling for a while. It's nice for them to actually be able to play at home.
Yeah, no, very, very long time traveling. That must be pretty wary for them. Sure.
You know what interests me? New Mexico, San Diego, as well.
Yeah, no, that one should be interesting.
I think there's a chance of an upset there in terms of New Mexico getting the result. San Diego could slip up there. I think San Diego should be the favorite going in, in my mind. But you never know, and you never know away from home. You never know on a weird pitch away from home, which again, New Mexico, Albuquerque, it's not the best of pitches. It's another baseball stadium, so they're not always the best. I don't know. There's a lot of scope there for that.
Orange County, Oakland Roots, bottom of the table, basically in the Western Conference. So maybe getting a result during this game will help them out a little bit. And then on Sunday, you have Red Bulls, the Baby Bulls, against Sacramento. That's kind of like a mean scheduling thing, because Sacramento has to play Sunday, and then 3 days later, I mean, they're at home, granted, but they're having to play against Rising. So we'll see. We'll see if that
See if that impacts them, because I mean they played yesterday as well.
Mm-hmm.
They played against New Mexico yesterday. So the travel can get to you. The quick succession of games can definitely get to you.
I mean, they're going to New York and they're traveling back.
They're going to New Jersey.
New Jersey, sorry, yeah.
But yeah, and then they've got, when's their next game? They've got the weekend after off. So Rising is the last game in that kind of tough week for them.
I think the players will be like, look, we need a break. Let's just.
Well, you never know.
Yeah.
You never know. They could be.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. But definitely a fun week in USL action. And it was definitely a fun week in Champions League action. So, Edwin, I'm going to get you in here real quick because I know you loved La Champions, even though Barcelona is not there. And, I mean, they weren't really missed, right? So.
Yeah, the CONCACAF Champions League, the real Champions League.
The real Champions League. So, yeah, we'll start with the CONCACAF one really quick. Colorado just went up, Michael says.
Oh, you should have put the bets on.
Should have put the bet. We told you.
Oh, there were really good odds on half time. Who was in the lead at half time? And I think that chance is now gone, unfortunately.
Darn, gotta put them up. Gotta put them in.
Yeah.
And also, Cruz Asumas, Michael says. But yeah, so Seattle Sounders yesterday beat Pumas from Mexico City 3-0. I called it. Pumas has not been playing good in the league and the Liga MX, and Sounders, they're the Sounders, man. They're gonna get the results. So in the era of home and away Champions League games, Seattle Sounders is the first MLS team to win that competition. So props to them. It was a long time coming for MLS. So what do you think about that?
MLS hasn't won that tournament since 2000.
Yeah.
So.
Sounders are going
to upset Liverpool or Real Madrid in the Club World Cup.
Real Madrid.
I can't wait to see. I genuinely can't wait now to see some actual MLS fan come out and say that and say, well, I know that it's true because they beat them in the International Elite Champions, very important preseason trophy, and therefore that's a sign that they can do it for real.
Club World Cup in December. I'm assuming
it can't because the actual World Cup's in December.
That's what I mean. So they're probably going to play it, January, February?
I actually don't know when the next Club World Cup is. Well, they keep saying they're going to, and they keep them pulling it off, and no one really knows what is going on.
24, whatever.
Hang on a minute. I might be able to get us an answer quickly now.
Yeah, but my comment was going to be that they're going to be in full preseason mode, which is the excuse that MLS teams use because typically during the Champions League stages, that's when they're coming into their preseason. So, whenever they get beat by a Liga MX team or, a Central American team, that's the excuse that they give. Well, it's preseason, they haven't played. But now they're really going to be in preseason because...
So just to be clear on this, so I went and just had a quick Google to see, and I'll read you this from the New York Times.
Okay, let's see it.
One prize for Seattle's CONCACAF Champions League title was a chance to face some of the world's best clubs. When are those games? No clue, one FIFA official said. So, no idea. Maybe they'll have a Club World Cup. Maybe they won't. Maybe it'll happen eventually. Who knows?
Yeah. I like those games, but they can be hit and miss. Tigres from Liga MX, they gave up a good fight against Bayern Munich a few
1-0.
and then Monterrey the year before that fought Liverpool pretty well. And here's the thing, I don't think Liverpool and Bayern were really taking those games seriously, but it's good to see Liga MX in an actual competitive or official match.
It's kind of that problem with MLS as well, in that it might fall outside of their actual season. And that really kind of makes things weird, especially with the way that MLS's season works, right? Let's be clear here. And now it isn't the case this year because obviously the actual World Cup is being played. But say if it was in that traditional December kind of spot, they could have finished playing a month earlier.
Yeah. I don't know. I think the scheduling stuff is always crazy, especially with the MLS calendar. It's always going to get in the way of, everything else in the world. So
yeah, but end of the day, Pumas let down the Mexican side.
Hey man, shout out to the Seattle fans. They packed Lumen Stadium, 67,000, 68, I think.
They did.
Well, it's a final. If you can't sell out a final, what are you doing?
Yeah, exactly. You gotta sell it out. Pumas lost the tie in Mexico when you left that 2-2.
I mean, Revs kind of helped them out there on those two Seattle goals. But
it's an interesting one. There's a whole discussion over whether that kind of thing and what we were talking about, something that's obviously a foul in the penalty area and how we use VAR and how you look into things like something that could be obviously a foul, but that traditionally you don't give penalties for. But technically, it should be a foul. And does VAR intervene there? And it's a real complicated kind of discussion.
Yeah.
And those penalties, right? Was there contact there? Yes. Was there? Would it probably, if that was on the halfway line, would you call it a foul? Plausibly. Yeah. Would you typically point to the spot for it? No, but now you got video.
I always feel like if you look at it enough times in slow motion, you're gonna find something. Like, and that's just my opinion. But like you're saying, if you mark something in the box but not in the middle of the field, what's the purpose of it? And so it's different. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens with that. But yeah, Bobby says Serie A coming to the States in the summer. That's the only tourney that will matter. Sorry, MLS. Good results for U.S. soccer this year, but a long way to go. And here's the thing about U.S. soccer. They beat Mexico in every competition during the last year. Insane run for the U.S. So good stuff going on there. Hopping over to Europe, Liverpool beat Villarreal. Do we need...
Oh, boy, the light's gone out again, guys.
Do we need Edwin Cam again?
Someone needs to start paying this electricity in here.
We're almost done.
Come
they cut us out. It's like the Oscars.
Oh man, we've got literally 5 minutes to go.
Oh my god! Sorry, Bobby and Scott and everybody in the chat.
Guys,
take a minute, but I'll talk about Europe Champions League. Don't worry about it.
Well, you can hear us at least, so we're gonna keep talking.
It's a conspiracy.
Yeah. Credit Madrid, as a Barca kind of guy, it sucks to see the Real Madrid, but they've been feisty this year.
Is this like some mystic thing with Real Madrid now, where you can't count them out?
You can't count them out. That's this Real Madrid.
You know who else you can't count out? Manuel Madrid.
Oh my god.
Okay.
We're gonna bring up the name. I'm gonna have to interject with that one, but look, yeah, it was a crazy game yesterday, wasn't it? Let's be honest. Put it on late in the game, and you just think, oh, surely, that first goal goes in. The first goal goes in. The board goes up for 6.
Those were their first 2 shots of the game.
Yeah.
There you go. Owen Cam.
Oh, hi, it's me.
I thought we were doing a Wayne's World zoom in thing.
Wow, that was a bit weird. I'm not really sure how to react to that. Okay.
We'll stay on Edwin Cam for now.
Sean is coming. Watch out, fellas. Someone do a super chat.
It's okay.
So
the camera's going to come back on, and one of us two, between me and Ramon, is going to have gone. I'm pretty sure that it'll be Sean who has done as such. Oh, look, we're back.
Yeah, so wrap it up here. Yeah, Real Madrid's insane, man. Like, Rodrigo, Benzema, I don't know. They got some sort of thing going on in this Champions League, man. I think Liverpool...
The Brazilians. Everyone has counted
Vinicius.
Everyone counted out Rodrigo early on. Everyone counted out Vinicius. And I always said, they just need time to develop, and they'll be good. And look at when you let talent develop, look, they showed up at the biggest moment, and it's the reason why they're going to Paris to lose to Liverpool.
Oh, no. I don't think that's going to happen. Not at all. You know what happens last time, right?
That was Karras. All right, that was just a world-class.
Yeah, Salah has to watch out. No Ramos this time to kick him off. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. So, Owen, who are you taking? Liverpool, Real Madrid?
Oh.
Put you on the spot.
You know what I'm going to take? Don't care. Gareth Bale's going to Cardiff City.
Boo. I think Gareth Bale's going to score and not care, and he's going to go golfing after the game. He doesn't care at all anymore.
Another screamer like the last one.
Mm-hmm.
The last Champions League final.
Yeah. Real Madrid, let's go. But yeah, we'll see what happens. May 28th, that's the Champions League final, so make sure to I think Rising plays at Hartford that day. So definitely a busy day with soccer. All right, y'all. That kind of wraps it up. Any last thoughts, Edwin?
My final studio show.
Indeed.
Why you gotta say it like
studio? I'm sorry. Hate to be a somber mood and all that, but I wanted to shout out all the people behind the scenes. Obviously, our intern who got the camera.
Thank you, sir.
For going on. Appreciate you. Appreciate Jacob. All the people who helped me out. Produce and especially in studio. Thank you and thank you. All the people in the chat made the studio shows fun because, as Ramon will say, Edwin's always laughing. Yeah, I'm laughing behind the computer at your chat, so shout out to you, Scots, the Jets, the Michaels, all of you guys in the chat. Thanks
where's Phoenix Rising Nation tonight?
I don't know.
He didn't want to come.
Where's Justin tonight? Where's the party gone?
Man, they want to show up for your last day.
Edwin. I know.
It's all right.
Last studio
they're
day.
Be here for the game. Right?
That's what matters.
That's
what matters.
There you go. Appreciate
and again,
that.
remember, if you have any spare change and would like to give it to the Edwin Beer Fund,
let us know.
I'm hearing that he is available.
Super chat.
Yeah.
we can use it. All right, y'all. Well, that is it for us tonight. Oh, Jet, nice. Appreciate you.
No.
Yeah, that is it
Permanent dead win.
That's it for tonight's show, y'all. We will be back on Saturday at Wild Horse Pass. Sorry.
Hang on a minute. Can you say that again one more time?
Oh my God, no. For our live post-game show, so make sure to catch us then as well.
And remember, of course, we've got a Twitter account. Where's the? Yeah, we got a little plug for this one today. Actually, we got a little graphic to plug this.
All right.
There we go. Thank you, Bobby.
Bobby, when I saw it, I was like,
double the underscore, double the fun.
That's right. That's the motto.
PHNX _ rising.
Make sure to follow it if you guys haven't yet, for sure. And hey, Bobby, thank you so much for that graphic. Appreciate you, for sure. But yeah, we'll be back on Saturday after the game. Make sure to join us for our live post-game show. Until then, be well, be safe, and we will see you next time. Take care.